All right, so the Longhorns had what the Longhorn fans would call an underwhelming or difficult day in the transfer portal 24 hours. A second Michigan offensive lineman, Andrew Sprague, announced he's going back to Michigan.
Yep, they both are.
Now both of them are going to go play for Kyle Whittington. And one of the things I pointed out last hour, and Longhorn fans can be disappointed about it, but when there's a free market and a new market, right, market fluctuates, the trends change. Something's happening in this cycle. And again, we always have to say this is the first cycle that includes the house settlement and revenue sharing and individual athletic departments allotting money and slotting players with revenue, right? That's never happened before. Everything before that was all straight NIL deals, and a lot of them were, it was the Wild Wild West. At least this time around, there is athletic department, they're spending money and sharing money with athletes. That's the first time that's ever happened. And what are we seeing here? Texas is putting values on players, and if they think they can make more in the market, they're going. We've also seen Sark go back on something he has said before, that if a player puts his name in the portal, he's gone, but Derek Williams is coming back. So Sark is welcoming Derek Williams, the safety, back because he put his name in the portal. There wasn't much of a market for him. Sark says, hey, man, we need a veteran safety. Come on back. So you change, you evolve with the market. But the other thing that's happening that's never happened before, Texas has made big swings on at least 6 or 7 players that they've missed out on, but every one of them has gone back to their previous school. Right? Isaac Brown, Louisville running back. Florida's Jaden Baugh. Florida's Jaden Woods.
Yeah, that was last night, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Michigan and the 2 offensive linemen. And so that didn't used to happen.
No.
So again, we're all learning about this evolving market. Well, what do you guess who's involved in this now? Agents. And I know there's slimy bad agents, but there's also good agents. Heck, David Mulugeta, who's one of the best agents in the NFL, he represents a lot of these guys here in Austin, and he gives good advice. Hey, listen, if you want to stay at Texas or Michigan or Florida, here's an idea. Drive up your price, bring that price back to us and the school you want to stay at, and see if they'll match it or come close to it.
Take a trip to Austin. Take a trip elsewhere, right? Wherever it might be.
How
and
long
then get
have
your
coaches
price
been
up.
doing this, by the way? How long have coaches in football and basketball been doing this on the advice of their agent?
Yeah.
Hey, you may not want to leave, but at least we'll put a story out that'll say, my man's in demand.
Jimmy Sexton's done that a few times.
I think Jimmy Sexton, this is the Jimmy Sexton playbook.
Right.
And now fans are all up in arms because players are following it on advice of their agents. I would also say with this Cam Coleman story, and Cam Coleman visited Austin, visited A&M, visited Texas Tech. He is going to leave Auburn. He's not going back to Auburn.
Yes.
That would surprise everybody. But, I think his agent, who's got a good one, is advising him to be patient. Why rush? Play the waiting game. If you kind of know the top 2 or 3, we see this in baseball, Major League Baseball all the time. Scott Boras, wait this thing out.
Yep.
What's the rush? Semester doesn't start for a few more weeks. Now if you know where you want to go, commit, make that happen. But don't commit. I wouldn't be advising you properly if I didn't say wait till the best deal's on the table.
Yeah. And I think part of the reason why he went up to Lubbock is that's a place we see. Looked it up. Sorsby's getting $5 million, right? That's a decent amount of cash for a guy for a year to play football. I think you go up there. Hey, Cody Campbell's got a pretty big pocketbook, right?
Well, the next phase of this, no, go ahead. I'm going to.
No, but that's it. Yeah, I'm just saying the price is driving up, going up to a place like
again,
that.
When
A&M.
agents get involved, that's what they are advising their clients to
Right.
do, and they've been doing it for coaches forever. Hey, you want to get a raise? Put your name out there.
Sure.
So, and this is new. Like players putting their name in the portal and coming back, that didn't happen before. But the portal's different now. The other thing that is different that we all have to pay attention to is the CSC, the College Sports Commission, and the clearinghouse. Like all of these deals that Cody Campbell and these guys are pushing forward, those have to be approved.
Exactly, yeah.
And what's that going to look like when they get submitted? By the rule that they've all agreed to, they have to submit those. And what if some of those get declined coming up? What that's going to look like? Or no, that's not going to work. But a player's already committed. Those things are coming, and obviously we're watching the tampering thing with Washington and their quarterback and Lane Kiffin and LSU.
Right. Demond Williams, all that situation.
So again, this is a whole new world. We understand that, and it needs overhaul. It needs change, but at the same time, there's a new. So I would assume Sark is pretty frustrated right now with some of the ones they didn't land. They took their swing, and those guys used the system to get what they wanted, where they wanted to stay. And that's where I look at Texas right now. Not one of the players they swung at so far that didn't come to Texas went anywhere else but where they were.
Right.
Every one of them went back. Florida, Michigan, Louisville. And, yeah, I can see that being frustrating for Texas fans. Now, Texas is still in on the Raleek Brown running back Arizona State thing. He's supposed to be in town today. That's one to watch. Also, now this was disappointing yesterday too. And so Texas signed Michael Masunis, the big inline tight end from Michigan State, one of their 6 commitments that they've gotten so far. And I say they have 7 commitments because Derek Williams was allowed to come back.
Sure.
So Derek Williams is 7.
Re-signed, essentially.
He was in the portal, likely gone, now
Right.
back. So 7 players. 20 are in the portal. And yesterday, so Jordan Washington, you could kind of maybe see, wait a second, they just brought in another tight end. There go my snaps. Nick Townsend's emerging. Amari Winston's emerging. I'm going to put my name in the portal, okay? But then this really shocked a lot of people when the freshman linebacker, Bo Barnes, put his name in the portal. Now, Chip Brown over at Horns 24/7 has a story this morning, according to one of his sources, that Bo Barnes is reconsidering. Was this Bo Barnes putting his name in the market to have Texas say, hey, man, we really need you. We only have Ty Anthony Smith, and you're a big part of our future, along with Tyler Atkinson. We are going to bring in linebackers through the portal, but we don't want you to leave. At least this morning, Chip Brown is reporting that, according to a source, that Bo Barnes is reconsidering his plan to enter the transfer portal. He hasn't taken his name out, but that's one to follow. Those things can be fluid. So that's where the Longhorns sit, and it's a new world order, but it's also an evolving free market.
Yeah.
That's different this time around than it's ever been.
Because, like you said, put your name out there. That's good. Your agent's going to advise that. But a lot of these guys are being retained. That's the one thing I've noticed, too. After the Woods news came out, obviously Jaden Baugh down there in Florida, the Michigan guys stayed. A lot of these guys don't want to leave. Like, if they don't have to and they can drive up their price, they will stay.
Right. But again, that's why I think here on Game Time we've tried to be real deliberate about how we educate you about this. This is the first portal where there's revenue sharing.
Yep.
Like from athletic departments. Everything before that came through collectives or, alumni bases and the Texas One Fund. All the payments came through that. Texas is now on the hook. All schools that have signed up for it, the House settlement, which is all of them, they have to share $20.5 million in revenue of their revenue, of their athletic department budget revenue with players. 90+% will go to football players, another 8 to 10 will go to men's basketball, and the rest will be dispersed to everyone else, right? Whatever that number is, however each athletic department determined it. But this is the first portal cycle when that's the case. So I would argue that's why we're seeing, players play the system. University puts value X on my player.
Right.
I go somewhere, drive my price up, find out what the market says, and I come back to my school and say, hey, they've offered me this. Would you match it?
You got a little money in that over there. We know you do, right?
So that tells me my value on the open market is more than you put on me. Would you match it? Yes, we will. Okay, then I want to stay.
All right, Sam.
And especially if you're at a place like Michigan where you're getting a good education, which I know there are still some of these kids that go to school.
Right.
Well, I've already got 2-3 years of invested in classes at Michigan. I don't want to transfer. I want to stay here and finish. Because I'm looking long term.
Texas is in the same boat, right? I mean, like a lot of these institutions are.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm just trying to read it as I see it, and I just see a different market. People don't say this enough outside of what we talk about, that this is a new system. This is a different realm in which they're living in. Agents are more involved, advisors, and revenue sharing. And I would also say the waiting game, being patient with it, just because the portal and the ability to put your name in the portal closes on the 16th, if you're in the portal, you're still in the portal after the 16th, unless you take your name out.
Right.
You're still in it. As long as and I heard Justin Wells of Inside Texas on with Trey Elling yesterday afternoon say this, you're in the portal into the spring.
Right.
Like just because there's one portal opening of 2 weeks, players can go back to school, stay another semester at their school, and come, the way I understand it, come the spring, they're still in the portal. Mm-hmm. So come summertime, there could be portal transactions because you put your name in the portal in this 2-week window, and you're still in it. And you can change after spring practice. I that's my read of it. I could be wrong on that, but that's what I heard Justin Wells say, and I think that's probably right, that I'm in the portal. My name's out there. What is that? What the portal allows is you to put your name out there now without any allegations of tampering. You can be contacted by other schools and other coaches. It's like, what do we call it when it came online? Tinder. It's like dating. You're on Tinder. You're
on
available.
The app, yeah.
You're available.
Right.
Unless you take yourself off Tinder, you're on Tinder.
Up for grabs until you delete it.
Right. I'm on Tinder.
Right. That's a good way to put it.
But there's a 2-week window in which to put your name on Tinder. But you still are on Tinder until you take yourself out of it. So that's where we're at. Again, Longhorns with 6 editions, very targeted. They're still swinging, and they'll keep swinging. I think Sark would probably be disappointed on losing both of the Michigan guys. They put a lot of time into the Jaden Woods thing, the kid from Florida, but he's going back to Florida. And again, that's the only solace I would take as a Texas fan is every player's gone back to where they were.
Yeah, it's not just
they're
Texas,
not losing
right?
recruiting battles
exactly.
at this point. Now we'll see with Cam Coleman. We'll see with Raleek Brown, running back. There's also a report this morning that Texas has gotten into the mix for a running back at Vanderbilt that we need to watch. A kid named Trey Richardson. And he's another one of those dual threat. It's pretty clear Sark's looking for a back out of the backfield kind of guy. Someone who can, bring some speed, some explosion out of the backfield, kind of a Keelan Robinson type of player, right? Bring you that, because you know what Christian Clark, I think they can have, Derek Cooper, the freshman, James Simon, and they're going to add a big back too, I think, through the portal. But they want that edge player that they've had under Sark.
Like a Jaden Blue kind of guy.
Yeah, Jaden Blue. I think Keelan Robinson was that type of player. And so we'll see where that goes. So we'll keep an eye on the names that are out there. That's where we sit right now this morning. One other note, for Longhorn basketball, Longhorn women play tonight. Mm-hmm. Trey Johnson now has a Sooner teammate. How about Trey Young now with Trey Johnson? Are there enough basketballs for that, Jack? Enough basketballs with Trey Young and Trey Johnson in Washington after the trade?
There.
Yeah, it makes Trey Johnson's job easier. He just has to stand on the wing and wait for the ball.
But does Trey Young pass it?
Yeah.
Okay, but he does.
He's averaged like 12 assists before.
He doesn't play defense.
No. Neither does Trey Johnson.
He can't. No.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be.
So no defense in.
They might give up
DC.
130 points a game.
Yeah, but they might get 110.
That's true.
What a weird trade.
Yeah. But can I say one other thing on the portal? Because it's clear to me Texas targeted, scarce things. They wanted a kicker and a punter and a deep snapper and an inline tight end. Make sure we fill those needs, and over the ball nose tackle. They got those, and now they're big game hunting, as we've said.
The Cam Coleman's of the world, right?
Yeah, you're as we said, needs versus wants. But there are not a lot of linebackers in there. There's 4,500 players in the portal. There are a lot of linebackers in there. Texas clearly targeted some key positions they wanted, but as of last night, and I haven't checked it this morning, like Ohio State has one portal addition. Georgia has one. Oregon has one. Notre Dame has 0. So it's not like Texas was 6. It's not like they're an outlier here. It's kind of like the whole market is slower than people anticipated, right? It feels like the agents are saying, hey, take your time. There's no rush. So, again, those are some big Miami, who's playing tonight, they don't have one.
No.
They haven't added a player through the portal.
No, one team that's actually got a decent amount, I say decent amount, it's just a couple, is now that Cole Sullivan, a guy I've been watching, linebacker out of Michigan, just transferred to Oklahoma, got him and Parker Livingston, but they've also lost a couple. So there's not a lot of transaction going around.
Well, and let's also remember Texas does have a lot of guys. If you look at their starting 22 on paper for next year, they got a lot of those guys already there.
Yeah.
They're already back.
Right.
Whereas you look down at A&M, who are adding a lot of players, A&M is replacing their entire offensive line. Yeah. They're replacing both receivers. Casey Concepcion, their running back room. That's
why they're in the Coleman sweepstakes.
Right.
Have to be.
They have a lot to replace as far as starting players go.
Howell's gone too, their defense end. He'll be a first rounder.
That's why they went and got the kid from Northwestern yesterday. Yeah. Whereas Texas has Colin Simmons and Landon Jackson. Texas is very young. They're looking for experience. They're hunting experience and veteran players in the portal. Aggies need starters in the portal right now.